Hey everyone and welcome to Storytime. My name is Jake and today we are going to be looking at the subreddit r/maliciouscompliance, where people have conformed to the letter but not the spirit of a request. If you're new around here, please do hit subscribe down below so that you never miss out on another video. But for now, let's sit back, relax and enjoy some malicious compliance. Try to scam free upgrade. Gets an upgrade to the worst room possible. Backstory. Years ago, I worked at a hotel located right on a beach. So many people always come in and try to run the scam to be upgraded to beachfront all the time. Please note, if you have thought about how to scam someone, there are a lot of others who probably have done this before you. Front desk staff are not stupid idiots who don't know how to read when a customer is full of crap. Again, as this hotel is beachfront, there are 3 types of rooms overall. Beachfront, the most expensive, side, and then city view, which is cheapest as some don't want to spend the extra money for a view. B, boss, me, duh, and GC, jerk customer. Working graveyard shift one night, I see someone booked a city view room. As we are dead, front desk staff can do free upgrades if they choose. I see this reservation and think, hey, I will be nice and give them a free upgrade to the side and block them into a room onto the 9th floor. The 9th floor is the highest we have, except for the 10th floor is for the penthouse level. I moved JC over closest to the beach. JC will have a great view. The jerk customer walks in and immediately tells me he has a beachfront view room booked. Now, for those who do not work in a hotel, no one ever says this, they always say I have a room reserved. So immediately, I know JC is lying. I say, sorry sir, you booked a city view room. The jerk customer tells me no, he booked a beachfront, and I explain that a beachfront will be more expensive. Jerk customer replies that no, he was quoted this much and that's all he will pay. Enter malicious compliance. I tell him, okay, I can upgrade you to the side. The jerk customer replied with, that is acceptable. This is strike 2 now, I truly know he is lying. As if he truly booked a beachfront, this would not have been acceptable. I change his room to the 2nd floor and closest to the city as I can make it. This room was absolutely the worst room we had and the last one we ever used. The only time someone got booked into the room was when we sold out and no other choices were available. Instead of seeing a beach, he now has a wonderful view of our generator. Boss came in early that morning. I explained if he gets a complaint from jerk customer, this is what happened. I told him what room number I was going to put him in, to which boss goes, you were being incredibly nice. As I finished telling him the story, boss asked, so where did you put him? Boss knows I would never be nice to a jerk as I had a reputation for malicious compliance on many occasions. I tell boss the room number and he immediately knew what I did to JC and falls out of his chair laughing so hard. Boss says, this is why I keep you around, entertainment value. No one but you would ever have thought to do this to a jerk customer. Boss continues saying, this best part, he thinks he scammed us and he screwed himself. If jerk customer would have shut up, jerk customer would have had a great room. Now, he has the worst room possible. My boss tells me later that the jerk customer never did come down to complain. Moral of this story is, if you are being a jerk, I will gladly give you a jerk upgrade. I don't understand free room upgrades, like, you get what you pay for, surely. I mean, if the hotel are nice enough to give you a free upgrade, I'm not going to decline it, but don't go in there expecting, oh, I'm going to get a free room upgrade, because you didn't pay for it. Just order what I told you to order. This isn't my story, but my mother's. She used to work at a fashion company in New York City. She was in charge of ordering the supplies needed to make certain products, and talking with distributors from other countries/places like Hong Kong. Well, she had a boss, who we will call him K. Well, K was not nice to my mother at all. He would always call her names and belittle her in the office in front of her other co-workers. Kay was also in charge of the sales department. Kay and the sales team would email my mum and say how many items they would need so she can order it. For example, if they needed 150 shirts, my mum would figure out how much fabric is needed for each shirt and order the bolts of fabric accordingly, never buying in bulk or extra. Well, one day at her job, she received an email from Kay stating that he needed fabric for 1,000 black skirts. She emailed him back, "Are you sure that is the correct number, or do you need 100 black skirts?" She knew that he actually needed 100 skirts because it was a commonplace for the sales team to accidentally type an extra number out, and my mum will fix the number. She worked there for a few years and knew the general types of orders. Kay says, "No, you insolent slug, I need 1,000 skirts. Just order what I told you to order." Now, my mum does not take crap from anybody, and this was the last straw for her. She was done being treated like crap around the office, so she ordered the amount of black fabric for 1,000 skirts. Later that day, she receives a call from Kay's boss, wondering why there is a very large purchase of fabric. My mum says she was just doing what Kay told her to do. The next day, my mum and Kay were brought into a meeting with Kay's boss to discuss what happened because they are unable to refund that fabric order due to it coming over by boat. It was coming from one of the Asian distributors. Kay went on about how it isn't his fault, it's my mother's because she was the one who ordered it. What Kay didn't know was that my mum printed out the email exchange about that incident and presented it to Kay's boss, including the part where he called her a slug and telling her to just order it. Kay piped up, saying that she should have known what he meant since this has happened before with the misclicks on numbers. My mum stated that she double checked with Kay and it was not a part of her job description to fix mistakes that the sales team created. Kay's boss dismissed my mum and had a chat with Kay alone. Luckily for the company, the fabric that was ordered was just a normal black fabric that the designers would be able to use for other projects. However, Kay's boss told Kay and the rest of the sales team that my mum is not responsible for fixing the mistyped numbers and she will order exactly what they emailed to her order. Kay was still rude to my mum up until the day she quit after she had her last child. I'm really surprised that Kay guy didn't get fired for calling her a slug. Surely he should be fired for that, or at least a dismissal, like a warning or something. Prevent us from fixing your stuff without your approval? I don't see what could go wrong. On one of my previous jobs, I worked with server maintenance. My task mostly consisted of monitoring servers and fixing problems before customers even noticed them. Fixing problems that customers experienced, and upgrading software and hardware. There was some other stuff involved, but they are not important to the story. One thing to note here is that none of the work I did was included in any contract or agreement with customers, meaning everything I did had to be logged and was then billed. This made the admin part of my job consume more time than I would have liked. One day, I receive an email from sales. Cheap customer, as the name implies, was very cheap and generally very hard to work with. They were disliked by most of the company. Cheap customer now demanded that any billable work exceeding 30 minutes had to be approved by Karen, their tech manager. Now, the admin part of any incident could take at least 10 to 15 minutes. And basic troubleshooting an additional 15 minutes, so we're already at the limit before we can even start fixing it. Anyone with even a tiny bit of experience knows that this is a recipe for disaster, which is what I told sales. Sales, in turn, responded that they tried to tell Karen this, but Karen shot them down. She was adamant on not paying a penny more than she had to. Because of this attitude, their entire server environment was a mess. We had offered to clean it up and make it better and more reliable, but this would cost extra, so they refused. Fast forward a few weeks. Our monitor software picks up that one of their database servers suddenly ran out of disk space. Some troubleshooting later, I find that it had generated a massive log file for whatever reason. I try to call Karen, but she doesn't answer. So I send her an email. At the same time, one of their web servers went down. None of their websites are now working. I don't know if these two were related, but they very well could have been. Again, I tried to call Karen, but no reply. So I send her another email, asking for approval to continue troubleshooting and fixing the problem. By now, our service desk has been getting calls from cheap customers' users. Service desk forwards several tickets to me, but I simply replied that I'm awaiting confirmation from Karen as per her request. Service desk, in turn, forwards this answer to the end users, who, in turn, tell us that Karen recently boarded a 4-hour flight. Chances are very high that she's not gonna read her email until she lands. A little more than an hour later, word reaches the CEO at Cheap Customer and I'm put on the phone with him. He immediately overrules Karen's policy and grants us approval to fix everything. It was solved by rebooting some services in roughly 15 minutes. Oh, and remember the tickets I got from Service Desk? Responding to those technically counts as work. So, one phone call with the CEO, half a dozen of ticket responses, as well as 2 tickets of malfunctioning servers, what should have been a 90-minute job resulted in me billing almost 3 hours. I'll admit, I exaggerated a bit. This, in addition to 3 hours that the servers were broken, meant that the company lost a lot more than they would have done if they just allowed us to work normally. As for Karen, she still worked at Cheap Customer when I last heard. She made this incident into her personal vendetta and cancelled the contract with us. She and the rest of the company would not be missed. That's a good riddance right there, because you get what you pay for, and if you're cheap, you get cheap services. You want a quick sweep? You'll get a quick sweep. Backstory first. I work as a cleaner in a large chain store, but I don't work for the store. Rather, I work for another company that larger companies employ. There's 3 people important to this story. Me, my boss, hereby known as RB for real boss, and the boss of the chain store, hereby known as FB for fake boss. Now, the only person I'm supposed to take orders from is the real boss, or whoever she puts in charge when she's off. But fake boss has a habit of asking us to do things that are not on our cleaning list. As an early morning cleaner, my job, you must sweep, mop, clean all mirrors and glass, empty bins, dust, clean the staff toilets and offices. As a janitor, you only sweep, empty bins, and mop if there's a noticeable spillage. The fake boss would ask janitors to clean his office and the staff toilets throughout the day. He would get annoyed whenever someone said, "That's not a job I can do, I've got other things to be doing." He would frequently tell the real boss about how Name wasn't doing what they were told, but real boss would always defend us and tell him what we do and don't have to do. The malicious compliance. I only worked 2 hours on the morning. This day, I had 6 minutes left before I could clock out. I'd taken to wearing a watch because all the clocks in the shop were on different times. Then, who would pop up like a zit but the fake boss, who said, "OP, sweep the store, it's filthy." I responded, "I've only got 5 minutes left, but I'll tell real boss to send someone." "No, you do it, just do a quick sweep." Now, it takes about 15 minutes to do a sweep of the walkways, and about 20 minutes for each department with no customers in. At this point, customers were in. It was them that had brought in all the new rubbish in with them because the sweep is the first thing we do every day. I go out the back and say, "Real boss, fake boss tells me to do a quick sweep." She responds with, "You're leaving soon, aren't you? Okay, just do what you can and I'll send someone else out when you're done. You see, because it was a sweep that fake boss asked for, we technically had to do it, even if it was a stupid thing to do. I look at my watch, 3 minutes 20 seconds. Yeah, I could do a sweep in that time, by running. So off I went, sweeper in hand, running along walkways and slowing to a jog on the corners. I pass fake boss and say, "Quick sweep, just like you asked." His face was priceless. He obviously went to the real boss to complain, but real boss just said that I had to do it fast, so I didn't work over. Fake boss was angry, but I mostly got away with it. Real boss talked with me the next day and just said, "That was funny, but don't do something so dumb again." She was smiling the whole time. Fake boss has been very careful with his words around me, but I've never had a dumb request since then. I can just imagine this guy zooming throughout the produce, from the electronics to the pet stuff, just zooming all the way through with his cleaner in hand. Hey guys, I just want to really quickly mention that I actually have another Reddit channel, which I'm doing like shorter subreddits. It's in the description as my other Reddit channel, it's called Fake Jake. It's more like commentary and my jokes kind of thing, but if you want to check that out then please do, and leave me some feedback. But thank you very much. Hey everyone, I hope you all had a really good day and that you enjoyed that video. If you want to check out some other videos, then click on screen right now, or check out the playlist down below. If you enjoyed that video, then please do leave a like, and if you want to submit your own stories, then you can do so by joining the Discord in the top link in the description. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon.